Yes, Wednesday betting preview edition of Pucks Across Borders on Sports Addict Live and Total Apex Sports, brought to you by the one, the only First Round Collectibles. Right now with our promo code Sports Addict, get 10% off whatever card you want in the entire First Round Collectibles store. What's your favorite sport? Hockey, football, basketball, baseball. They're all in full swing right now. Maybe wrestling, maybe boxing. Whatever it is, you can get it at firstroundcollectibles.com. Use promo code SportsAddict for 10% off your order. They have an ongoing sale up to 50% off, tons and tons of cards. And with our promo code SportsAddict, not only do you get 10% off of regular priced items, but sales items as well. Go to firstroundcollectibles.com today. That's the number one, STRoundcollectibles.com, firstroundcollectibles.com. First Round Collectibles, sports cards for sports fans.
Yeah. Let's go. We just gotta go hard. I go the hardest. I bring the pain. Not what you used to. It's all part of the game. Yeah, I just gotta go hard. I just gotta go hard. Go hard. Go hard. Yeah. Oh yeah, the beast.
And welcome to this Wednesday NHL betting preview edition of Pucks Across Borders. We are back and we are ready to go. Crazy night in the NHL last night. Of course, my guy Andre is in a wonderful mood. His Yankees stayed alive in the World Series with a beautiful win. I told my wife, man, she asked me why I cared that the Yankees won. And I said, I need my guy in a good mood. I mean, you always bring it. You're a professional, but I need that extra little bit of pep in your step. You know what I mean? And it's here. The Rangers go down, but no big deal. Lots to get to from the NHL last night. 6 games on the schedule tonight. Lots of hockey this week. I'd be curious to compare it with the rest of the weeks in the NHL. I feel like this is one of the busier weeks that we're going to see. 9 games on Monday, 7 games yesterday, 6 games today. Thursdays are always busy, and there's a few games on Friday as well. Before we get into all of that, Andre, how you feeling on a Wednesday afternoon, bro?
Feeling pretty good, man. Feeling pretty good. Sun is shining.
Yep.
I had something to distract me from the Rangers' loss. It's a vibe, you know? I'm doing well. Can't wait to dig into today. Can't wait to really rip into one of these teams that plays today.
Well, let's get into it, bro. Lots to get into from last night. We'll quickly run down what happened. The Philadelphia Flyers not only win against the Boston Bruins, a shutout, which is not something that they've even been close to so far this season. They beat the Bruins 2-0. You and I both, when the Bruins aren't in a good place, you and I are in a good place. The St. Louis Blues, my Blues, we all love the Blues. Not true. You hate the Blues. They get destroyed by Ottawa 8-1 last night. Linus Ullmark makes his return, and the Ottawa Senators win 8-1 in Ottawa. The Anaheim Ducks beat the New York Islanders 3-1. Not only can the Islanders not score or win on a consistent basis, but if the Ducks were favored in this game, and if the puck line was -1.5 for the Ducks, they would have covered. Just unbelievable. Patrick Waugh last night, I don't know if you heard his comments, but he's having a really hard time speaking the truth. Like, he's saying all these things like, you know, we played well enough to win and we're getting chances. And he said, what did he say about the penalty kill? Because I think the Ducks, the Ducks got 2 power play goals last night. And Patrick Waugh's comments were, you know, I thought on the first power play goal they scored, I thought the penalty kill was really, really good. We just missed 3 opportunities to clear the puck. And it's like, Patrick, If you miss 3 opportunities on 1 penalty kill to clear the puck, that's not good. Like, that does not look good. So he's in a tough place. The Minnesota Wild on Marc Andre Fleury's potentially last game in Pittsburgh. They get the win 5-3. Starts off not great. Pittsburgh goes up 2-0, but the Wild end up getting the win 5-3 as Pittsburgh woes continue. The New York Rangers, as you mentioned, lose to the Washington Capitals 5-3. Washington looks really good right now. We'll talk more about that in a little bit. And the San Jose Sharks continue their winning streak up to 2 games now. 4-2 win over the Kings in a game that I watched front to back. And the Sharks look good, man. Or the Kings look bad, whichever way you want to look at it. But lots to pick apart from last night. Andre, what is your takeaway from the wildness that I just explained in the NHL last night?
Yeah, my takeaway is going to be a positive out west. I think it's overdue that we give some love to the Anaheim Ducks. Not mighty anymore, but they're 4-4-1, 500-point percentage, -4 goal differential. Not lighting the world on fire, but that's competitive. Through these first 10 games, an 8th of the season already gone. By the way, they're kind of in the hunt. They're chilling. They're not gonna make the playoffs, you'd assume, but they're competing. They're not just rolling over and dying, except for that game against the Devils is pretty rough. But they're not just rolling over and dying. They've been anything but, and it really starts with strong defense. They've only allowed 25 goals in 9 games, just fewer than 3 per game. Obviously, last night they held the Islanders to 1 on the road, so there are a lot of teams hovering 500 right now. When you're talking about points percentage, there's a lot of expect to be back. The Avs, the hockey club. I guess the Kraken are +6, they're with 550 points percentage. A lot of teams that just are right there with the Ducks. I guess the Ducks are right there with them. I guess you can throw the Blues in that conversation. I don't know why you need to do that, but let's give them some numbers. They've had a competitive 8th of the season. Things up with that nobody much from, and they've overachieved, and it's not going to talk about. So kudos to them. Good win last night. Keep it going. Why not? You got Pittsburgh on Thursday. That's a winnable game. Lord knows goals. They have the Blackhawks after that.
Yeah.
6-4.
I was telling you on our call or on our pre-show conversation that I was listening to the radio today and they were saying the Anaheim Ducks 4-4-1, and I was like, what? They are? And they are. Decent start. I'll tell you, man, we've talked about this before, and we kind of saw it last year. That Dostal or Dostal or whatever, that guy is a good goalie, man. Like, if they can get some pucks in the net and he can keep playing like that, he's a good goaltender. So there's always a chance with Anaheim. And if you remember, last year they had a pretty good first couple months to the season and just fell off promptly before Christmas. They were out of it, but they had a good start to the season. So we'll see if they can keep it going this year. For me, like, my takeaway, I said this before the season. I've said this a couple times already into the season. The Washington Capitals are a good team, man. Like, I like what they did in the offseason. They added some defensive depth. They added some scoring. I thought, Pierre-Luc Dubois, who really still hasn't really done much of anything, but I thought that was worth the shot. What's the worst that can happen? That's a good hockey team. And that loss, like, for the Rangers, like, I'm not worried about it with the Rangers. I think, beating a division rival, obviously those two teams have a long history. It's good, but to me, this really has nothing to do with the Rangers. We talked about this before the show too, Andre. Like, the Rangers, they're going to win 52 games, and every couple of weeks they're going to put up a game that's like, what in the world was that? Like, that's just kind of what the Rangers do. if you're the Devils or the Capitals, though, you outshoot the Rangers 46-19. Terrific game. Ovi scores two goals last night, getting, maybe he's heating up a little bit, 4 on the season. This Capitals team's a good hockey team. And as we're going to say, probably for the next couple of weeks, I know it's early, but Washington's for real, man. And I like what they're doing. And this segues very nicely into a segment that we haven't done a ton of this year, mostly because we just keep forgetting. But my bad beats, bro. I gotta tell you about this. I had two bad beats, one worse than the other, but both bad. Hence the segment Bad Beats. So FanDuel has created another way to take my money, and it is daily specials. I think this is new this season. I haven't seen this. Daily specials, lots of really cool markets. It's just like, who's the highest scoring team tonight? Who's the lowest scoring team tonight? Which game has the most goals? Just kind of stuff like that. So I took a few. One of them being Kaprizov for the Wild to have the most shots on goal on Tuesday night. He had 7 shots on goal. I'm going through all the games and I'm looking at the totals. 7. Okay. That's the best bets. Do you know what took away? It was like plus 1,100 or something like that. Do you know who lost or who got more shots than Kaprizov to lose my bet?
Was it a player on the Wild?
It was not.
Oh,
it was a player in the
was it?
Can you imagine who it was?
It was for the night. It was a player on the Capitals.
The most shots in the NHL last night, a player on the Capitals.
I'm trying to think of Oh, I think I know what happened. Was it Dowd that had the empty netter?
No, dude.
Was that it?
It was Connor McMichael. Connor McMichael had 10 shots on goal last night.
Yeah.
Who is Connor McMichael? And how did he have more shots on goal than Kaprizov? I know who McMichael is, but like, that's the player? That's the guy who gets more shots on goal than Kaprizov? McMichael?
He was pretty active last night.
Give me a break. 10 shots on goal? Good for him, but like, I couldn't believe it.
Oh, you should look at his shot chart. I bet it's probably like Zach Hyman's goal chart from last year.
Oh, I bet it's unbelievable. I'm just like, I'm looking through, like, you have the Wild playing, you have the Blues, you have the Kraken Canadians, you have Flyers Bruins, Pasternak's on the ice. Like, if Pasternak's, had 10 shots on goal and, took away my plus 1,100 winner, that's fine. But Connor McMichael, that's the guy. So frustrating. And then the other market that I played that I thought was a good bet, it was a longer odds. It was like plus, I can't remember, plus 1,800, something like that. It was pretty long odds. For the Islanders to be the lowest scoring team in the NHL last night. And they get 1 goal, and then the Boston Bruins promptly score 0. And I was like, that's what I'm saying. Like, you lose a bet. But for Connor McMichael to be the guy that shot more shots than Kaprizov, and for the Boston Bruins to score less goals than the Islanders, that's when it hurts. You know what I mean?
Oh, let's not forget that the Flyers, who Boston played yesterday, they were allowing the most goals per game going into, last night. They were allowing 4.44. So, I mean, they're still allowing the third most at 4.0. But
that's what I'm saying.
That's brutal.
Friggin' tough, man. But that's how it goes. That's how gambling goes. Speaking of gambling, we got 6 games on the ice to talk through tonight, starting with, speaking of these New York Islanders, they're in Columbus. I checked the odds early this morning, obviously before. Columbus was plus 134 this morning, if my memory serves correctly. And they are now not even close to that because I think everybody is seeing what I'm going to assume, you and I haven't talked about this game yet. I'm going to assume that we're on the same page here with this one. We'll see what happens. The Columbus Blue Jackets plus 112, home dogs. New York Islanders minus 134, minus 1.5 is plus 184 for the Islanders. Plus 1.5 is minus 230 for the Blue Jackets. The over is 6.5 at minus 102, and the under is minus 120. Andre, what do you got? Islanders, Blue Jackets.
Yeah, so first of all, I want to give a shout out to Joe in the comments. Thanks for watching. You're the best. Love talking to you. Glad we can make you smarter in hockey. Now,
that's about all. If you're looking like just smarter in general, we can't help you. But this is where we got your back, bro.
Oh yeah, 100%. You are topical right now because you asked us about Patrick Waugh. I want to say like a week ago.
Yeah,
like a week ago. Yeah, and I'm here right now to tell you what you said earlier. Patrick Waugh talking about there's good things going on that Islanders PK. Good and Islanders PK don't belong in the same sentence.
No, they do not.
Period. Good and the Islanders don't belong in the same sentence right now, honestly. But this team is just what do they have? They're 30th. What on the PK? They're 28th on the power play. The 30th in goals per game, or they're 30th in goals per game. Yeah. What do they have? They have good 5-on-5 defense. That doesn't get you anywhere. You know why? Because your goaltending is not even that good. They've been awful all season. You know, they staggering wins and losses. They got a couple good ones in OT. This is the same exact team, pretty much, just praying that they get an extra 5 minutes every night, praying it goes 3-on-3, praying that they get a shootout, and maybe they'll get 2 points that way. They have one regulation win. One. This is a bad team. Columbus has been better. I think Columbus honestly might just be better at this point. They're scoring. They're winning. Correct me if I'm wrong. They're ahead of them in the standings.
Oh, yeah.
Points percentage and points. They have 4 wins. Give me Columbus at home. What are we doing here?
I know.
Why are they underdogs? I mean, I'm not going to complain. It's extra money in my pocket, but the Islanders suck.
Dude, this is the thing, bro. Is like, I've said this a million times. I know why the odds are the way that they are. I know that it's analytics. I know that it's math. And I also know that many times I have said these odds are stupid, and then they end up being right. So I understand all of that. Like Montreal last night. Plus 120 at home. I didn't understand it. Turns out they lose 8-2, and it works out for Vegas. But we watch all these games. Like Columbus scores 6 goals almost every single night. Columbus is fast. They're heavy. Their goaltending is okay, which is pretty good for Columbus standards over the last few years. The Islanders have nothing right now. And I'm telling you, man, like, I understand, like what I said, like when your coach comes out and says, our penalty kill looked good, we just couldn't clear the zone. If you're new to hockey and you're watching this show, let Professor Marc and Andre teach you a little something. On the penalty kill, the whole point of the penalty kill is to clear the zone. That's what penalty killing is. So when you tell me the penalty killing was good, we just couldn't clear the zone. Patrick Waugh, you're a legend. You're a Hall of Famer. That makes no sense. It doesn't make sense. And he's just fighting. And I also think, and this is my own personal opinion. This means nothing. But I also think when you're saying things like that, you're scared that your group is fragile. Like when you're not going to come out and say, we suck right now. Our penalty kill was awful. We allowed 2 power play goals to the Anaheim Ducks. Like when you can't come out and say the truth, I think you're scared that your team is fragile, and I'm right there with you. Now, Varlamov is starting tonight, confirmed by Daily Faceoff. If Sorokin was in net, I may have a harder time picking Columbus here. Sorokin, 2-2-1, 1.8 goals against, 932 save percentage. Pretty good start to the year for Sorokin after not having a good year at all last year. But he's not in net. Varlamov is. And Varlamov, spoiler alert, not good stat-wise at all. So I'll take Columbus here. Absolutely. And at risk of following the trends too closely, as I just pull this up here on my phone that is taking way too long to load. Columbus Blue Jackets. Where are we? We're live. No big deal. Columbus Blue Jackets, total goals. Oh, come on. Yeah, FanDuel's giving me over 2.5 at -164. That's cowardly. I love FanDuel. I use FanDuel every day, but that's cowardly. We got to find something a little bit higher than that. I'm not going to take the over because I don't think the Islanders can score, but I will take Columbus +112.
I love it. I just, real quick before we move on, we need to circle back on those PK comments. Just for people that don't understand, just like imagine you cook for somebody and they say, "Oh yeah, I thought the food was good. I just didn't like the flavor. I didn't like the taste." That's basically
Makes
what
no
he said.
sense.
It's so you didn't like it. It's not good. That's what you're telling us. And in a division where 4 of the teams are currently top 10 in PK, and then Washington's 11th, Columbus is 12th. Even Jersey, they're 17th. They're middle of the pack. And for you to, I thought a PK was good. We just couldn't play the puck. No, you want to see a good PK, watch the rest of your division rivals. Those are good PKs.
Well, and I don't have the numbers in front of me here. I don't know, because when you look at percentages this early in the season, it's hard to know exactly like how, like you don't know how many, whatever. I don't have it in front of me. Maybe you do. I don't know how many penalties the Islanders have taken. What I do know is 62.5% is not good, no matter how many, like, not good. You know what I mean? Like, if their penalty kill was like 91%, but they only took 10 penalties, then it's kind of like, okay. But 62.5% is not good, no matter how many penalties you've taken.
Not at all. I have penalties taken. Let's see. They're down there, actually. Good for them. 19 on the season, 31st.
Oh,
it's
that's
over
pretty
2
good.
per game. Just over 2 per game.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Still, my previous statement remains true. 62.5% still not good. That's still not good.
Not even close.
No.
And only one of them has been a major too. So they've been short. That actually makes it worse, but
yeah, it does.
Whatever.
All right, moving on. We spent too much time on these clowns. All right. And also, Vinny, I know he's not watching, but if he is, stop running for me, Vin. I want to talk about your Islanders. Come on the show. I want to talk about this team. What is happening right now? Anyway, love you, bro. Moving on. Winnipeg in Detroit. Winnipeg losing on Monday to snap their perfect record. They are in Detroit. The Detroit Red Wings playing pretty good right now. +134 at home. -162 are the Jets on the road. Steep. I do think, like, I'll just jump to the end here. I do think Winnipeg wins this game, but -162 seems a little rich on the road. -1.5 for Columbus, or for the Jets, +152. +1.5 for the Red Wings is -188. The over is 5.5, -140, and the under is +114. Andre, what do you got? Winnipeg, Detroit.
I'm proud of you for not mentioning who beat Winnipeg and snapped that that streak, I
Thank
will
you.
say it was the Maple Leafs.
Growth,
It was the
growth.
Maple Leafs.
Yeah,
Yeah,
growth.
I noticed. I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
Um,
Appreciate you.
Very surprising considering that this team started 8-1-0. I guess 8-0-0. But when the Jets succeed, you typically think, they're not allowing any goals. And while that was true, they were lighting the lamp a ton. 5 of their last 6 games went over the total. And conveniently enough, I know they're second in scoring. I believe their power play is connecting 44.4% of the time right now. And their PK has been pretty good, but very conveniently, I just looked at the most penalties taken. Guess who was number 1? The Winnipeg Jets. How about that? So there's going to be, I expect a lot of scoring in this game, just like Winnipeg's games have been lately. Detroit lost 2 in a row, 5-3 to Buffalo, 3-2 to Edmonton. But they were playing better, like you said. They had won 3 in a row. They desperately needed all those. They're fine. They're kind of malleable right now. They don't really have a clear identity, which is weird because we thought everyone assumes we knew who the Red Wings were going to be. Instead, they've just kind of, if it needs to be a 3-2 game, it's a 3-2 game. If it needs to be a 5-4 game, it's a 5-4 game. So Jets are going to score. I think the Red Wings do enough to keep up, not enough to win. I like the over more than anything in this game. Obviously, I think Jets are going to win. I'd probably take the 60-minute line over the puck line, by the puck line's worth taking a shot on because, this Winnipeg team has been rolling for the most part. They just lost to another really good team.
Yeah. And full disclosure, I already have a bet on this game, -1.5 Jets. I've already taken it. I do think they bounce back here. I just think the Red Wings, I think long term, and if our guy Dusty, the Red Wings fan,
Yes.
if he's watching, I would love for him to chime in too here. I do. Don't you love me just assuming that everyone we know watches this show? Like we're pretty arrogant on my part, but hey, what can you do? I think the Red Wings we're gonna see, and the more again, they've only played 9 games, but the more that we see this team, I really do think we're just gonna keep seeing the same team that we saw last year. I do. Just a team that scores a bunch of goals, allows a bunch of goals, wins against good teams, loses against good teams. I don't think we're really going to see a consistent Red Wings team this year. So for me, the goaltending's been good, but that game against Toronto too the other night, they really excelled with the man advantage, not only on the power play, but with the pull goalie. 5-on-5, the Jets were really dominated in that game, and I really do think that they're going to bounce back with a stellar performance tonight. I'm actually really excited about this game. I think this is going to be a really good one. Winnipeg -1.5. I am all over it. And listen, he scored 3 the other night. Is he going to score every night? I don't know. But one of the most underrated players in this league, underrated scorers in this league, in my opinion. Maybe it's because he's out in the tundra in Winnipeg, but +120 for Kyle Connor to score tonight. That guy, watching him play, man, is just unreal. I love watching him play. He's +120. Mark Scheifele, that guy is scoring a bunch this year too, and he is +160. So I'm all over that heading into tonight. All right, moving on. Another really good game. Interested to see how this plays out. Tampa Bay favored -118 in Colorado. Avalanche -102 at home. -1.5 for the Lightning is +198. +1.5 for the Avalanche is -250. Over is 6.5 at -122. The under is +100. I have a bet on this game too already, and I'm interested to see if we're on the same side of this. Andre, what do you got? Tampa Bay, Colorado.
This is weird because I want to, and just instinctually, this has to be like a Colorado money line, right? I mean, I assume they're gonna at some point get it together, like full time. They obviously are at home, and Ball Arena is a scary place to play. At the same time, every time I pick this team, I can't say what I want to say. They fall apart, as a substitute. And that Chicago game was just another one. 5-2 loss at home. I know it was the second half of back-to-back. You didn't have to go anywhere, though. And it was the Blackhawks who weren't scoring any goals. Every time they pull me back in, they give me a reason to just have no faith again. And the defense is still an issue. Obviously, they allowed 9 in the last 2 now. The offense, they can keep scoring 3, 4, 5 every single night. It's not going to matter, especially not against the Lightning, who have one of the most dangerous scorers in the world. I really don't think they have an answer from Nikita Kucherov tonight. I know the Lightning are better defensively and in net. I have the Lightning winning this game. I see why they're favored. I'm rolling with it. So I'm taking it. I wouldn't be afraid of that puck line either with the way Colorado's been playing. Pains me to say, but I'm not buying.
Yeah, we're on the same page. I took Tampa Bay too. I took the money line. I am, however, I already have the money line. So I don't know if I'll overexpose myself to this, but I might do a little $5 parlay and add the -1.5 to it. This is the thing. Colorado, you need to give props to who you need to give props to. McKinnon and Makar have gotten points in every game so far this year. Those guys are doing their part. Makar defensively struggled early in the season. He's playing really well. They're getting their points. The thing about Colorado, and you laid it out, lots of things worry me about this team right now. Kaapo Kähkönen from San Jose fame is making his season debut for the Avalanche tonight, and that concerns me. Now, the Avalanche are better defensively than the Sharks are. No disrespect to the Sharks, 2 in a row. I'm not giving any hate on the Sharks. I'm just saying. But Kaapo Kähkönen is making his season debut. He had some good games last year, but that concerns me. This can go one of two ways, right? Now, in order for Colorado to win, I really do think they're going to have to score 5 goals. And I know Vasilevsky hasn't looked amazing at times already this year, but I just don't think they're outscoring the Lightning tonight. It's just that simple for me. I think Kaapo Kähkönen is making his season debut. I think it's going to be a tough night for him, tough night for the Avalanche. I'm taking Tampa Bay on the money line and tempted by that puck line. I do think the over is the right play. For over 6.5 to be -122, that's pretty telling. But I'll stay away from it personally and just bet that money line with a glance at the puck line. All right, moving on to the Calgary Flames in Utah. Utah, proud receivers, which is, I don't know if that's the right way to phrase this, but they now have Olli Mata, who, or Mata, however you want to pronounce it. He is now a member of the Utah Hockey Club. He got traded late last night by the Detroit Red Wings for a 3rd-round pick. Something that Utah had to do. We talked about this. I've been pounding this drum for the last week and a half. Ever since Dursey and Marino went down, that D-core took a massive, massive hit. Now, Mata, not this lockdown, shutdown defenseman, but he's a really good, solid defensive player. And I don't think that they're done. I think they need to do something else. Please take Timothy Liljegren off of our hands here in Toronto. That would be amazing, but I'll leave that for another day. But I don't know if he's going to be playing tonight. They do start a 4-game road trip on Saturday against Vegas. You would assume he'd be there for that. So that's just a little side note. I don't know if he's playing tonight. But regardless, the Utah Hockey Club, after that embarrassing 5-4 loss in overtime to the Sharks the other night, minus 128 at home. Calgary Flames got embarrassed by the aforementioned Vegas Golden Knights 5-0. So both of these teams coming off embarrassing performances. Although Utah's wasn't an embarrassing performance, just an embarrassing last 10 minutes. Minus 128 for the Utah Hockey Club. Calgary Flames plus 106, plus 1.5 for the Flames money line or puck line, minus 250, minus 1.5 for Utah's plus 198. The over is 6.5 at plus 104, and the under is minus 128. Andre, what do you got? Calgary, Utah.
Yeah, unfortunately for Utah, most men in that state only need 10 minutes to embarrass themselves, and they're just. I know you're talking about the defensive improvements, but you were right on it. Like, you were on the forefront of these injuries are concerning. They're going to struggle. And I mean, earlier in the season, right, they go on that road trip, 4 goals allowed, 5 goals allowed, 3 goals allowed, 5 goals allowed, come back home, hold the Bruins to 1. That's when the injuries happened, I believe, or maybe it was during the next game, but then they give up, it was that 4 loss to the Senators. They give up 5 to Colorado. 3 to LA isn't that bad, but then the implosion against the Sharks, you give up 5 to the Sharks.
Yeah.
I'm still concerned. And maybe, this addition could help them. I don't think it's going to help them right away. It's not the Band-Aid they need tonight. It's probably the Band-Aid they need a week from now, and down the road, long term, it'll make it better. But Calgary, after a great start, they've lost 3 in a row. They did what everybody's been doing this year, went to Vegas, threw up all over themselves, got embarrassed, never want to talk about it again. I think they're going to bounce back tonight. They're out. They need to get back in the win column. They have been pretty good for the most part this season. I like what the Flames team is doing. I like what they're building. I think they're going to be better defensively. They've allowed 14 in their last 3. That's not who they are, or at least it wasn't in the early portions of this season. The offense, they've only scored 5 in those 3, whereas they were scoring 3, 4, 5, and 6 during their, 5-0-1 start?
Yep.
Yeah, I like the Flames to bounce back here, especially against the Utah club, struggling to really stop anybody. I think the Sharks game, that Sharks third period in particular, really showed that. There are gigantic holes there. I wouldn't be afraid of the Calgary puck line either, but just
like the minus 1.5.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Oh yeah. I feel very confident they're going to win. I think they're the better team, especially when it comes to keeping pucks out the net. And that's how you lose. You lose when you can't stop anybody. So I'm big on Calgary.
I like that. That's plus 250 on FanDuel, by the way. Calgary
Nice.
Flames minus 1.5. I love it. I'm right there with you, man. I think Utah. They I don't know, man. Like I talked about this in the season previews that we did. Like I just don't think Calgary is that bad of a team. Like I think Calgary has good players. Dustin Wolf is back in the net tonight. He's had a pretty good start to the season. Utah, they're scuffling right now, and they can score goals. And like I said, great that you added Mata, but he's not. I don't think he's playing tonight. And even if he is playing tonight, never practiced with the team. Brand new environment. I think Calgary, that was a really embarrassing loss, man. Like that loss to Vegas the other night, that was really, really tough. And so I'm here for a Calgary plus 106. And there's a reason why on the road they're only plus 106. Like minus 128 makes sense for Utah, but plus 106, that's pretty short odds for a road dog. So I'm taking Calgary plus 106. And I know I keep saying this over and over and over again, but Nazem Kadri plus 195. Score a goal. Let's go. I have your book. Haven't read it yet. Really excited. So do me a favor. I gave you money by buying your book. I'm not giving you money by betting on you, but I'm believing in you, you know? So come on, let's go. Plus 195, Nazem Kadri to score. All right, I was going to make a joke. Doesn't matter. Moving on. Here we go. The Las Vegas Golden Knights are in Los Angeles. Minus 130. Vegas on the road in LA. That tells you all you need to know, in my opinion. Los Angeles Kings plus 108. Minus 1.5 for Vegas is plus 190. Plus 1.5 for the Kings is minus 240. The over is 6.5 at plus 106, and the under is minus 130. Andre, what do you got, bro? And why is it Vegas minus 1.5?
Bold of you to assume that, because it's not Vegas minus 1.5. I'm
really?
Once again taking a dog here. I know I hate betting on the Kings. I know it's like a core tenet of who I am as a hockey fan. But for as good, as dominant as Vegas has been at home, 7-0, plus 23 goal differential, 39 goals in 7 games is over 5 per game. Only 16 allowed. That's almost 2 per game. They do have 3 losses this season. 7 plus 3 equals 10. They've played 10 games. Do the math. They have not won on the road yet. They'd be by far in first place, the best team in the league if they could win on the road, but they can't. They lost to Washington. They lost to Tampa. They lost to the Panthers. They're going to lose to the Kings tonight because the Kings do just enough to give themselves a chance to win unless they're playing the Sharks or the Maple Leafs. And that's what they're going to do tonight. I believe.
I could not agree with you any less. I think Vegas is going to destroy them tonight. I honestly, minus 1.5 all day long, plus 190. I'll take it. This Kings team, I have watched the Kings more than I want to this year, if we're being honest about it. And I've watched, for somehow, the way my nights have gone, I have watched 120 minutes of Kings Sharks over the last 4 days. I think 125 minutes. I think it went to overtime one night, although I could be wrong about that. I don't remember. Whatever. No, I am wrong about that. But nevertheless, I've watched a lot of this Kings team, and I'm not impressed right now. I think they had a game last night. They laid a dud against the Sharks. Now, maybe that means they laid a dud. They're at home. They'll bounce back and win the game. I just don't see it. I think the Sharks. I just love the Sharks so much. I think the Knights win minus 1.5 at plus 190. I'll take it. I don't like this Kings team. I don't like what I'm seeing when Drew Doughty is not on that blue line. It's a mess, and I think that Vegas wins this game. I mean, there's a case to be made. I don't know if I really believe this right now. I'd have to look a little deeper, but there's a case to be made that Vegas is the best team in the league right now. And I just think they're playing really well. They're fresh, and I think they're going to beat the Kings pretty handily tonight. Now, in my opinion, this is the game of the night. I can't wait for this game. I'm really excited about it. Last game of the night, before I forget, I harp on the NHL and the schedule makers all the time. I have to give them credit tonight, bro. 7:10, 7:40, 9:10, 9:40, 10 o'clock, 10:40. That is a stagger. That's all you had to do. Nothing crazy, pretty simple. Not like that catastrophe last night. Every game starting at 7 o'clock. And I'm just left with the Kings and the Sharks at 10:30 at night. But anyway, thank you, NHL, for doing this for us tonight. The New Jersey Devils plus odds shifted minus 104 now are the Devils on the road. Minus 115 are the Canucks at home. Minus 1.5 for Vancouver, plus 205, plus 1.5 for the Devils, minus 260. The over is 6.5 at minus 118, and the under is minus 104. Andre, what do you got, man? Devils, Canucks, 3 Hugheses on the same ice. Should be a good game, man. I'm looking forward to it. What do you got?
Yeah, the Hughes cruises tonight. That completely slipped. This, to me, this battle really comes down to the Devils offensively against the Canucks defensively and on the PK. The Canucks have been great at keeping pucks at the net. They've been great at killing penalties, at clearing the puck when they're shorthanded, making the other team chase, getting fresh bodies on the ice. All this stuff penalty killers do and do well, and that's why they succeed. They've been really good at that. Obviously, the Devils, 30% on the power play this year. They've been an offensive juggernaut, or I wouldn't say juggernaut. They've been great offensively for a few years now. That's who they are. They've scored 3+ goals in 6 straight games. They're going to light the lamp, or at least you expect them to. The Canucks are one of the rare teams where just with the skaters on the ice and maybe a little bit more of that goaltending magic from your boy, your new favorite goalie, Kevin Lankinen. I just had to, buy some time there. Maybe they slow him down. I like the Canucks here. I like them because they're at home. I think they are one of the few teams with the speed and the talent to not only match but neutralize what Jersey does so well. I'm curious what Markstrom's career numbers are in Vancouver, by the way. I should look them up real quick. But yeah, I think they can keep the Devils in check offensively, and with the way that Jersey's been having some lapses in their own zone lately, the Canucks are going to take advantage of that, right? Because you can gas up and talk about how good the Devils are offensively for a very long time. The Canucks are right there with them. The Canucks are one of the most talented groups in the NHL. So I like them at home here. I like a high-scoring game.
So
take the over
I don't
also,
that's correcting you ever, especially live on air. It's not a full correct. It's like a 50-50 correct. Daily Faceoff has, as of 148, has She Loves Me, yeah, likely to start. Not 100% confirmed. What's that?
What a mistake.
No, I agree with you, man. Keep the kid in, bro. The kid's playing so well right now. Vancouver. You've been on a few days rest.
Yeah.
No need. If She Loves Me is in net, I have a problem with taking Vancouver. He has not played well so far this year. I am taking Vancouver. I'm right there with you. I agree with you 100%. That little fact, though, does concern me, and I am not going to put my money on it until either the kid is confirmed or it's 10:35 and I've lost all my money and I need to make it all back. So I bet on Vancouver. One or the other, whichever one comes first. But that does concern me a little bit. But there's nothing more for me to add. I think you laid it out perfectly. I'll be taking Vancouver on that money line as well. Just something to look out for as far as the goaltending matchup. Before we move on to the best bets, and I didn't tell you that I was going to do this, but I forgot to mention this the other night because we did, when Steven Stamkos returned to Tampa Bay, we did the recap and the Wednesday betting show or Tuesday betting show on Monday night. I forgot to talk about this. Did you see the tribute that the Lightning did for Steven Stamkos on Monday night?
I did.
I thought that was phenomenal. So well done to see the emotion on like Steven Stamkos, and the fact that they did it before the game, I thought was a really, really great move. I didn't realize, dude, like he's been on that team for 16 years. Tampa Bay. He was there for a long time. Like I just thought he's there for like a decade or whatever, but he's been there for a long, long time. And I thought that tribute was awesome before the game started. Not some cheesy video in the first commercial break, you know what I mean? Like to give him his proper time. He went out he went out on the ice, did a little lap. I thought that was great to see like him like welling up. Kucherov, you see Kucherov, tears like pouring down his. I thought that was a really, really special moment that we didn't talk about. And the reason why I mentioned that is to pair on that is Marc Andre Fleury last night in Pittsburgh. Now, on the one hand, I feel like we've been doing the farewell tour for Marc Andre Fleury for like 5 years, so it's getting a little bit much at this point. But I thought that was really cool last night, man. Like those Pittsburgh fans, they're going through a tough time right now in Pittsburgh, and they're just chanting Fleury, Fleury, Fleury. He did a little lap. Even though Fleury beat the Penguins, he does a lap, and everyone is cheering his name. You know how they do those stupid interviews that drive me nuts on the ice after a game? They usually do the home team if the home team wins, and the Wild win, and they still interviewed Fleury live in front of the audience. Really, really cool moment last night as well. So we're getting to that point, man, where these legends of the game, they're leaving us one by one. Now, Stamkos isn't leaving. He's signed to a 4-year deal, but we're getting to that point. I thought those were really two really, really cool moments that we didn't talk about. We talk about wins and losses, and we talk about gambling, and we talk about all these things. But two really cool human moments that I thought were really cool over the last couple days. Yeah.
And then Joe has to remind us that Tampa did it to themselves.
I know. It's so, I know. And it's like, he's still like, it's off to a tough start. Like, from a Tampa Bay perspective, you have to hope that they just knew when to call it quits before it actually, the downswing actually happened. But to cut a guy loose who scored 40 goals for you last year, that's tough, man. That's tough. So we'll see what happens. He's off to a tough start in Nashville, but I thought that was a really cool. He went on, he got 2 points that night. The team couldn't get it done, but I thought that was a really cool moment. All right, moving on from that sappy garbage, here's to what matters, gambling. Let's get right to it with our best bets, brought to you by First Round Collectibles. With our promo code SPORTS. Wow, lost my head for a sec. With our promo code Sports Addict, get 10% off whatever sports card you want in the entire First Round Collectibles store. They have an ongoing sale up to 50% off tons and tons of cards. And with our promo code Sports Addict, not only do you get 10% off of regular priced items, but sales items as well. Go to firstroundcollectibles.com today. Use promo code Sports Addict for 10% off your order. That's the number 1, STRoundcollectibles.com, firstroundcollectibles.com. First Round Collectibles, sports cards for sports fans. Andre, what do you got on this Wednesday night as your best bet?
See, I thought about saving this as a family play, but I feel like we have a better family play. So I'm going to lock it in. Columbus Blue Jackets at home against the Islanders, who played yesterday. The Islanders suck. The Blue Jackets are scoring. I love it. Give me Columbus at home.
Yo, I love it, man. I'm all over it. I think that's awesome. Well, before I go in on my bet, what's your family play? What do you think the family play should be? I don't want to step on the family's toes. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, you don't step on the family's toes ever. I mean, I was thinking over 6.5 in Vancouver, but I'm not sure where you're going to go with yours.
Ooh, yeah, that wasn't mine. Okay. Over 6.5 Vancouver. Let's lock that in. I love it. Let's do that.
What are you thinking?
Man, I don't know. I don't know. I'm bouncing back and forth here between Winnipeg -1.5 and Lightning money line. I think I'm going Lightning money line here. -118 on FanDuel. We already talked about it. I just think, with Capo Kakinen and net, man, no offense to the dude, but I just think that to me, like you have Georgia, you have a Noonan, you're putting Kapanen in against the Lightning. You're desperate and you're searching for answers. And I think the Lightning win tonight on the road, minus 118.
I love it. It's another play I thought of. I thought you were going to take that one as your best bet, though, so I'm glad I saved it. My odds, little nod to Marvel's main continuity, plus 616. I have the Jackets as plus 110. I have over 6.5 in Vancouver and minus 118. I have the Lightning money line at minus 118.
So I have the over 6.5 in Vancouver is also minus 118. Tampa Bay is also minus 118. Slightly better odds over here. Columbus plus 112. So plus 623. Slightly better. But hey, whatever sportsbook you're loyal to, you get the job done. Plus 623 on FanDuel. Everybody, thank you so much for watching. As always, we appreciate you. Don't forget to check out wait a second, I see this lighting up here. Oh, okay. Yeah, Joe's just finishing up his thought on the Stamkos situation. Yeah, for sure. For sure. It's like you have to, and I mean, listen, man, Jake Gensel, they signed. That's a really good deal. We'll see how it all plays out. Yeah, everybody, thank you so much for tuning in today. We appreciate you. Don't forget to check out firstrondcollectibles.com. Promo code SportsAddict for 10% off your order. That's firstrondcollectibles.com. Shout out, as always, all the way back to we appreciate them very, very much. To them. Check out the NHL page. I have a little thing out on Connor McDavid news that we didn't even get to. Out 2 to 3 weeks with an ankle injury. I have a little blurb on the Toronto Maple Leafs as well. Head over to LaBearSports.com. Have a great night, and we will see you tomorrow.
Go